What up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? How's everyone doing? It's the NFL Pick'em Show over at Who-Bangin, Week 8 edition. Week 8 edition. Wow. Before we go any further, though, we got to give a shout out to Week 7's winner, number three this year. Damon,
It's
you
getting
go
funny,
ahead.
right?
You go
Dude,
ahead.
I mean, the one and only Sophia Santor, I don't know how she's doing it. I think though what she's doing. Yeah, I'm gonna catch her. Before I was like, yeah, I'll catch her with time. Nope, not happening anytime soon. That's for sure. Amazing. 3 out of 7 weeks, man.
Yeah, and number one overall, right behind is Joe Worstner, then Jim Blanche, and Jasmine and Eric, along with you and Jacob are tied.
Her and Joe keep going back to back, week to week. Nice little battle going on.
Yeah, and my dumbass forgot to put my picks in. But I'm still sitting at 56, so.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hold on, you didn't pick last week and you're one game behind me? Nice, dude. There we go. It was a rough week, dude. I'm not going to.
It was a tough week, man, for betting and just picking them straight up. But you know what? We're going to roll with a brisk pace this week, and we're going to keep things rolling. So let's jump right into it.
Round.
And this week, I'm not going to forget. I'm going to put my picks in right as I'm doing it.
It's easier to remember when you have your wife doing the picks too, So
right.
You see her peeking at it, and it's like, oh, I did forget one Thursday, but that's one game.
Yeah, so
I saw some. I did see a couple people join though, like randomly in the middle of the season. So, just people are joining, and it is a week-to-week thing more than a season-long thing. People can always hop in, compete weekly for the $20 prize. It's doable. Definitely doable. I'm not competition. There's one person in your head right there.
Oh, man. But we got, we'll go right into it. Thursday's game. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to Buffalo. And Buffalo's an 8.5-point favorite. The Bills are 4-3. The Bucs are 3-3. This one, I'm just gonna simply go with the Bills to bounce back after a tough loss against the Patriots. That was a heartbreaker there for Bills fans. Tampa Bay, they're looking all right. Kind of like what they're doing actually, with Baker, and nothing too crazy, but they're a solid team for the most part. The Bills look like a mess. Honestly, 4-3. Pretty ugly season so far. But in this spot, I'm taking the Bills at home on Thursday night. Short week for both teams. Give me the Bills. What do you think?
I think this is a pretty easy Bills spot to pick for a pick'em contest, but it is interesting if you're looking to bet aside because 8.5 points with the Bucs defense. Like you said, the Bucs are putting together a decent little season, and the Bills do look like a dumpster fire. This Jekyll and Hyde team. They look amazing or they look terrible. I think the injuries are catching up on defense, and we may have like a field goal game here. But give me the Bills too.
All right. I like it. Go right into the next one. We got the Falcons, 2.5-point favorite on the road versus the Titans. The Titans are 2-4. The Falcons are 4-3. Both teams are not averaging too many points. They're about middle of the road. The Falcons are averaging 341 yards per game, but they're giving up more points than they are scoring on the year. This is a pretty tough one. Bijan's questionable right now. Tannehill, the ankle thing, he's going to be out for a little bit.
I read that Will Levis and Malik Willis are both supposed to play. I don't know how that's going to work with two QBs, but that's what Variable said.
Right. This is a tough one here. I think that's an under type game, but as far as the pick'ems go, man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm gonna go with the underdog home team Titans. I just have a feeling this is kind of a coin flip game for me, in my opinion. But let's go Titans. What do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the Titans QB situation pans out. Desmond Ritter on the other side has not looked good. They have all the weapons on that Falcons offense. Their defense definitely keeps them in games, even though they've given up more points than they've scored. As you said, that's an indictment on their offense more than their defense.
Right.
Ritter almost screwed that game for them, and their defense bailed them out. It's up to him to show that he can play, or there's a QB right behind him that will play and compete for the division. Titans off a bye, but with the QB situation, I don't think they can overcome it unless old Derrick Henry shows up, and they've shown that they're not trying to do that. Give me the Falcons here until otherwise noted from the Titans.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you said, this
kind
is a coin flip type of game. No, Ritter's not the guy. Trust me, I wanted to take Titans. But...
So let's go to the next game then. An interesting one. You got the Texans laying 3 on the road against the Panthers. Texans are 3-3. Fairly decent season so far for the rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud, who was drafted right there with I'm drawing a blank on the Alabama quarterback, Panthers quarterback.
I do it too. Bryce Young. It took me weeks to get them both. It's something about their name combinations. I don't know. It took me weeks, bro. I'm not even kidding.
But yeah, the Panthers, I don't know. They're pretty much like last in a lot of the categories there. The key statistics. Miles Sanders is questionable. Von Bell, Xavier Wood. They got a lot of guys banged up on their offensive line. Chenault is questionable as well. There's not much to like about the Panthers, and there's things to like about the Texans. So for that reason alone, right there, boom, give me the Texans. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is. I haven't seen anything from the Panthers that would make me pick them in a game yet. I think that Thielen has been a pleasant surprise. They've actually looked semi-competent sometimes on offense, but Bryce looks a little overwhelmed by the speed still. And I saw a stat that Will Anderson, the rookie for the Texans, he's just been a monster. Teams have to worry about him, and he's winning pass rushes at a pretty high clip, which in turn teams are having to double team him. So we'll see what that opens up for other guys. I think the Texans just have more than the Panthers, and I think Stroud is more game ready than Young.
Yeah, and I like what he's doing. A Ohio State quarterback that looks very competent in the NFL.
He looks I know it's easy to say, but especially with how fast these defensive ends are now, the game speed is faster than ever. Like, these dudes are just – it's not just the random guy who can burn now. You've got a lot of guys who can burn. So these – they can't keep up with the speed of the game. It doesn't matter how good of an arm you are, how good you are. You're seeing guys, struggle a little bit with it.
Right. In the NFL today, It's not like it was, let's just say, 15 years ago, where you draft a guy and he's sitting on your bench,
Mhm.
until he's ready. If you're drafting a guy that early in the draft, a rookie quarterback, he's going to a place that's very much needing a quarterback, and they're plugging and playing him, which does not necessarily pan out.
Pros and cons.
More than not, I
Yeah.
feel it doesn't work out.
Mhm.
And,
No, I agree.
you could really burn up a decent player, um, or they land in the wrong system, and you have a wasted opportunity with good talent at times.
Yeah,
You see that a lot. I've seen it a lot being a Browns fan, but let's not even go there. Let's keep it moving.
let's
We'll
roll.
go right to the Jags. The Jags are a 2.5 point favorite on the road versus the Steelers. The Steelers are 4-2. The Jags are 5-2. Um, and all the key statistics, the Jaguars are winning there. The Steelers are giving up more points than they are scoring, but yet they have a 4-2 record. That's pretty wild there. Zay Jones is listed as questionable. Tyson Campbell, their cornerback, questionable. Walker Little, and their free safety, Andre Cisco, for the Jaguars. So they're a little banged up. They have a way tougher schedule than the Steelers. But I'd like the Jags to go in there and steal one in the Steelers' house. Even though they're getting healthier, they got Deontay Johnson back, and I think Najee Harris finally got a touchdown too this past weekend. But
Yeah.
in this spot, I'm taking the Jags. What do you think?
I like what the Jags are doing. ETN looks so explosive. The Steelers are being absolutely roasted by wide receiver twos, so I look for Christian Kirk to have a good game. Even though he's technically their one, people still look at Ridley as the one. So their wide receiver two. I don't know if it has to do with the side of the field they line up or not, but I did see that. I think give me the Jags here. What they're doing, I think, is for real. Their defense is getting better, and the second year under Doug Peterson, I said they're gonna kind of falter a little bit. They've started the season strong, and I completely disagree on that opinion. They're going to roll into the bye next week off a win here, and they're just going to keep rolling. Give me the Jags. I think the Steelers also have gotten favorable calls in some spots, especially last week. That was not a first down. So, that's the NFL, though. Margin of victory and defeat is so small.
Yeah, it's
But give me the
normally
Jags here.
yeah, I believe it was some stat like 70 some percent of games are decided within 3 points in the NFL.
Makes
It's
sense.
pretty wild.
Well, if you're getting anything under 3 points on an actual betting line, I mean, you're almost saying that team's going to win the game. I don't
Yeah,
know. It's very rare that a team wins by 2 or 1. So, I mean, I know that's kind of
yeah,
crazy to say.
not that
Points
many
do matter,
blowouts.
but
All right, we'll roll right into the.
no buys this week. I think every team plays.
I think you're right there, which is good for my fantasy team because this past week there was I had a lot of buys and
Oof.
had to work around that. Was able to squeak out 2 wins out of the 3 leagues I'm in, so
Nice.
that's always nice. But yeah, we got the Rams, who actually just lost to the Steelers, versus the Cowboys. The Rams are 3-4. Cowboys are 4-2, and they're a 6.5 point favorite at home. Oh, these matchups are always pretty interesting here with these two teams. But I do like the weapons of the Cowboys. I think this has a potential um, spot to be a little closer than that 6.5, or totally opposite, where the Cowboys finally get their shit together and they look like the team that everyone like talks about going into every season if you're a Cowboys fan and America's team. But here I do like the Cowboys. but the weapons with the Rams, I think losing Kyron Williams is going to hurt them because I feel a lot of what Stafford and McVay where they kind of are when they're clicking is when they're running the ball and able to run play action, and you'll get guys like Cup and Nakua, breaking open. But it's kind of a weird year. The Rams, I feel like, started out a little hotter than a lot of people expected them, and now they're going back towards their median of where we were kind of saying that this is a year where we see them not being so good and maybe even trying to trade, Aaron Donald, which I don't think that's going to happen at this point, but we shall see. But give me the Cowboys at home here. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we saw the best of the Rams the first couple of weeks. I think they're one of those teams that every week, though, they're going to be in the game no matter who they play. They're not going to blow people out. They're not going to get blown out. Puka's made some catches this week that were insane. Their
Right.
offense does have some weapons. The Rams seem like they can plug and play a lot of running backs. Darrell Henderson actually looked okay, had a touchdown, signed to the practice squad, plays, has a touchdown. He's got experience with the team. But with all that said, the Cowboys are still, I think, ahead of the Rams, and give me the Cowboys. It seems like Micah Parsons just on another level than any other player right now. To me, like the way he rushes is just
Minus
insane.
Miles Garrett.
What's it?
Minus Miles Garrett.
Uh,
Did you see him jump over the guy and block that field goal?
I do that every week when I have to pick my kid up. Jump over the kids. Clean. Can't touch them because you're going to hurt the kids. No. He had an insane week. The strips, no. Yeah. I mean, on week to week, you could say it's any guy. Aaron Donald, TJ Watt. These defensive ends are just monsters.
Big nice, yes.
They're like I said,
difference maker.
They're monsters. Yeah. But yeah, give me the Cowboys here.
All right. Yeah, we'll go right into the Vikings versus the Pack. And the Vikings are at 3-4. The Packers are at 2-4. This is a pick'em game. I'm gonna take the Vikings for this reason. Even without Jefferson, there's been talks about Browns maybe trying to pick up Kirk Cousins or this. I mean, these are just rumblings amongst fans, But like just that talk alone, I think Kirk's gonna have a little chip on his shoulder, and he's gonna lead his team into victory. The Packers, with Aaron Jones being out, it seems to really have been hurt them more. I think that is a key piece to what makes them work on offense. And Love looked pretty good the first 3 weeks, and he's kind of reverting back to his mean, to where he looks like a guy it's his first season, being a starter. So give me Kurt, what do they call him when he rocks all the chains? Whatever his nickname is. When he's got that swag going, I like to back a guy like that. Give me Kirk Cousins on the road versus the Packers. What are you thinking?
Two teams in two different directions. Packers, tough loss against the Broncos. No one wants to go play an altitude, come home, do a division matchup. That being said, the Vikings off a win that people weren't expecting, short week. If you want to go with the Packers, I understand. But to me, this is teams on two different paths. I think you're seeing the Vikings on the way up. You're seeing the Packers on the way down, like this season. And I think big part of that's quarterback play. Give me the Vikings here.
Right. All right. We'll go right into the New England Patriots, who just got a win against their divisional opponent, the Bills. Shocked them. I believe they were pretty heavy dogs there, just like they find themselves in this spot here against the Dolphins at home. They're a 9.5 point favorite, and they're at 5-2. coming off a Monday or not, yeah, Monday night loss against the Eagles. Um, I don't know. Mac Jones, I think, had a decent game there, but I think it's going to go back towards the mean there, and the Dolphins are going to get right, but it's going to be a tough game. The 9.5 is a lot, in my opinion, on that side of things. But as far as the pick'em goes, give me the Dolphins. What do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty. I know the comp narrative's gonna be Belichick, Dolphins, all that stuff. I mean, but I like the Dolphins here. I know they just had a tough loss against the Eagles. I like them to turn it around. Give me the Dolphins here. I think I don't really have too much to. I think the Patriots showed up because the narrative was that they're terrible, and I think that their defense played a hell of a game at home with the familiar opponent. This is a familiar opponent here too, but I think Tyreek Hill's just been unstoppable.
All right. He really is unstoppable. I mean, he's just a freak of nature.
Yep.
All right, let's move into the next game. We got the Saints versus the Colts. The Colts are a 1-point favorite at home. Both teams sitting at 3-4. The Colts just played a tough game against the Browns, lost it late. Minshew looked a lot better. He was using his legs very good after the previous week, throwing 3 interceptions, which was the first time he's done that in his career. As far as injuries go, nothing too crazy on either side. The key stats, I mean, the Saints, it's another spot where the Colts, they give up more points than they score. And both teams have a real weak schedule. But it's a different team now with Minshew, and I don't think it really hurts them. I'm going to take the Colts at home. Yeah. I liked what they did. Their defense showed up at times. Their offense looks pretty nasty with the 1-2 punch of Moss and Taylor. Taylor's starting to find his rhythm. So yeah, give me the Colts at home. What do you think?
Yeah, tough loss for the Saints last week versus the Jaguars. Now oh my God. Now Chris Olave just got arrested yesterday. Excess speeding over the speed limit, 35 miles an hour. The jokes on about Derek Carr, though, and having his receivers do crazy shit driving are actually kind of funny. But yeah, there's something about the Saints team. I don't like the way they're going. The Colts off an ugly loss. This is a coin flip game. I'm going to take the home team. Give me the Colts.
Madame Dylan. You made me laugh there. Oh, what up, you sexy bitches? Excuse me. All right, let's keep moving. Jets Giants divisional matchup. The Jets are a 3-point road favorite. The Giants are 2-5. The Jets are 3-3. This is kind of abysmal matchup here, where both. I mean, the Giants are scoring average of 12 offensive points per game and giving up 24.9 points per game. Like, come on. Your record definitely reflects that. I still kind of believe in the Jets. I like their defense. They still have a lot of playmakers. Give me the Jets on the road. We'll go with it. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, this one. Ugly.
Nice.
The Giants have looked good. You can argue they should have beat. On defense, they've looked good. Offense, they just look like a mess. But you could argue they should have beat the Bills. That game came down to the end. They had that ugly second half. I think the Jets defense, and I think the Jets still believe they have a shot this season. Give me the Jets here. They need this game. I like the Jets defense more, and I think that their offense has a little bit more. And if quarterback's a toss up, I don't know if Daniel Jones is going to play with a neck injury. That's still, a questionable thing.
Yeah, and Tyrod's Daniel Jones is better quarterback than Tyrod, but
Oh yeah,
but and sometimes it doesn't show. So, but let's keep it rolling. The Eagles versus the Commanders. Eagles are 6.5-point road favorites. That kind of makes me scratch my head here. They're only 6.5-point favorites as to where the Dolphins are 9.5. I guess maybe because they're at home, but another divisional matchup here, and the Eagles are just as simple as this. The Eagles are starting to roll. The Commanders, they got Sam Howell. He's playing pretty good. Just give me the team that I think is going to go to the fucking Super Bowl. They got their one loss out of the way, but they're starting to click. I can see them rattling off another, going four out of five the next 5 games or so, or four out of 4, the next 4 games. Give me the Eagles. Boom, done. What do you think?
I think this line might reflect the books knowing that people know that the Commanders have played the Eagles close. Earlier this season, they almost beat them on the road in Philly. And then one of the last regular season games the Eagles lost, other than the Jets, I think was the Commanders in Washington. So I think that's part of it. So I think that might be why the line is where it is. I think people will probably pound I don't even know. I like the Eagles at this line, but I think that's why it is what it is. I think that the Patriots aren't as good as they should last week. I think that's why that one is what it is. I think that might be more a microcosm of what's going on with the Bills. But here, give me the Eagles. The Eagles are going to roll. I know this might be an Eagles blowout spot, to be honest. What's up, Dave?
Right. Yeah, it very well could be. Hey, big, sexy.
Richie Sexton?
I guess yeah. Richie Sexton, yeah. Oh, that was our guy there for a while. Loved me some Richie.
Some Kevin Nash.
Yeah, so if you want to take us right into this next game, we got the Browns versus the Seahawks -3.
I don't understand why this one will only be -3. The Browns have, but I guess they're saying that the Browns defense is really going to show up. Their offense looked really inept at times. Another running back injury with Ford. If they don't figure out that QB situation, it might be tough. They can't really put money into another quarterback in a trade because they sunk so much money into Watson.
Right.
So, and they're talking about an MRI on his shoulder. His shoulder is banged up. His shoulder strength was not there. I think that is a concern, and P.J. Walker looked better than him when he played. P.J. Walker didn't look great, but he made some good throws. I think that if he could do what they need him to do, they'll be okay. Kareem Hunt's going to get more of the role now with Ford out, but I like the Seahawks here. I think that their defense has been playing well. If this was in Cleveland, another story, but I do think that the crowd will present enough of an issue, and I do like the Seahawks to keep rolling. I liked them before the season, and this isn't an indictment on the Browns. They just have an issue at 2 important positions on offense, They do have the skill players around to hopefully make up for it, but it's going to be tough week in, week out. But give me the Seahawks here. Let's hear about your Browns. What are you thinking?
I think you're pretty much spot on here with this one. I don't necessarily want to go against my guys. I would love to see a 5-2 start. Both teams are 4-2. Man, and I'm gonna be in Vegas for this one, so it'll be a lot of fun sitting at the sports book watching football all weekend in Vegas. But yeah, honestly, this past week, I'm watching a game, right? I'm like, hopefully Watson stays out. That went across my mind. We have a better chance of winning this game if Watson stays out. And isn't that crazy to say about someone you're paying $230 million for? Come on, man. His
He felt
decision
pressured.
making looks terrible. I mean, it's not just the arm stuff. His first throw of the game, I didn't
That was
like
an
it
arm
too.
strength. He
He
couldn't get
threw
the
it right
ball
at
where he
the
needed
guy's
to.
fucking feet. Like I don't
I
think
really
he's
do
there
think
mentally, and I don't know if he'll come back from that mentally. Go ahead.
well, being publicly labeled as a sex offender is not the best thing mentally, I'm sure, unless you're a real sicko. Fuck with your head pretty good. Unless you're a real sicko. I mean, there are some out there, but that can't be a good one, like you said. Everyone who goes by him now probably think like, ugh, for no reason.
And
I mean, not for
players
no
don't
reason,
like him.
for a reason.
A lot of these guys have kids and families and stuff, and
It
players
wasn't,
don't
yeah,
necessarily like him.
yeah. But like at the
So
same token, his shoulder strength was not there. He could not throw. You could tell that he felt pressured to play because the doctors cleared him. He played. He looked great escaping sacks, but he couldn't throw, dude. His shoulders bummed or something. And like you said, there is the mental side where he might not be as confident. So long winded to say, yeah, you
yeah,
could be
I
right.
like
He could
what
be done.
Walker. I like what Walker has showed us. He could be formidable when you have a defense that's as good as the Browns' defense, even though they gave up more points than they basically have. More touchdowns than they have all year this past game. And you just need a guy that can not lose you a game basically because the defense will keep you in it. Now you're going to need that guy to step up and make certain plays, throughout the course of the game. But you're just asking Walker to not lose the game for you. Over on the
Yeah,
Seahawks side, I mean, you got the combo of Walker and Charbonnet, which Charbonnet hasn't even got a chance really to showcase what he's going to be, and I do think he's going to be a special running back in this league. The dude's just a freak of nature, athletically. Yeah, DK should be coming back this week. Lockett and their defense. Yeah, I mean, and that home crowd is a different thing. I've never actually been to that stadium, but I have been to Arrowhead. And so if you've been into a loud stadium where they say it's loud, and that stuff really does matter, especially with a guy like Stefanski, the head coach, still, he wants to call plays. With Walker that doesn't totally know the system, that could be a big thing on the road there. So yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks. Long-winded answer. This next one is pretty simple for me. It's it's the Ravens versus the Cardinals. Just give me the Ravens. Need I say more? No. Give me the Ravens. The Ravens are clicking. Give me them. Boom, done. What do you think?
there's not much really to add on this one. Ravens look like a Super Bowl contender. They just shit pumped the freaking Lions, who are a good team, and they like took their foot even off their throats. They're looking good. Their defense is playing good. There's not much here. I think they actually roll by a lot more than 8.5.
Yeah, right. And this was something we've been kind of talking about all year so far through 7 weeks is the Eagles and the Ravens. They're going to be teams that get it going as the season goes on. I think we're at that point. We've seen what the Eagles did against the Dolphins in their top notch offense, and they only gave up 13 offensive points. Against the top notch offense because no, it was 10 because it ended up at 17, the total for the Dolphins. And that one touchdown was pick six. So, but yeah, same with the Ravens. The Ravens just beat the shit beat the shit out of. I'm drawing a blank who it was, but they just beat the shit out of them, and I think this is another case where they're just going to beat the shit out of them. Bada bing, bada boom. Next game, we got Bengals versus the 49ers. 3-3 Bengals versus the 5-2 Niners. Excuse me. San Fran is a 5.5 point favorite at home. I haven't. This is a tough one, but I'm gonna go Niners. Niners at home. Santa Clara, California. Bengals are coming off a bye. I don't know. It could be good. We could start to see them kind of heat up, but I'm going with the 49ers here. What about you?
I think I took the Bengals here. The 49ers don't look right, and it's more than they're going to have to get some pieces back. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I haven't dove into it. Well, it's more than Debo. I think Trent Williams was the bigger piece missing. Their offense has shown they can survive without Debo. He's a great weapon to have. He is important, but they can survive week to week without him. I think that the Bengals, this is a big game for both teams. Starting to see big matchups, and the Bengals need to come out and show that they're more who people thought they were from before the bye. And the Niners 2-game losing streak go out to play the Eagles. If they're not careful, they can lose that division to Seattle. Give me the Bengals here, though. If a team smashes, it'll be the 49ers. If the Bengals win, it's a close game.
Yep. I like that. Yeah, it could definitely come down to who has the ball last.
Yeah. McPherson versus Moody. Give me McPherson. Let's go.
Yeah. This next one, I'm not gonna say too much. Mahomes, give me him. Give me Mahomes versus the 2-5 Broncos. I don't care what the spread is. As far as the spread goes, I don't know. Chiefs like to fuck around sometimes like that, but they're gonna go in there. They'll go in a mile high. They'll do what they have to do, and they'll come back home with a dub, whether it's by a lot or 7. They're gonna get the win, go back home. Chiefs. What do you think?
Chiefs defense is really showing up, and Broncos offense is not there. The way the Broncos stay in this game is through running the ball. When you see them running the ball effectively, Russell Wilson has looked more competent. They actually do seem like they genuinely like each other on offense. The receivers score, they get pumped up for each other, and they were grinding. So as much as people hate the Broncos, this team is grinding. They just lost their safety, suspended 4 games for that hit. All that to be, this is an easy Chiefs pick. I'm just kind of laying out some info to the game. Chiefs are their offense is going to continue to roll a little better. That Hardman pick was important. Justin Ross just got arrested on domestic violence charges, but he wasn't really a part of their offense. And just going to keep rolling.
Right. Well, that brings us to the Bears versus the Chargers. The Chargers, just played the Chiefs in Arrowhead. They come back home. They're 8.5 point favorites at home. The Bears did their thing. Against the Raiders, but this ain't the Raiders. Even if they can score like they did last week against the Raiders, I mean, you still got Eckler, Herbert, and Keenan Allen, which Keenan Allen is going to go down as, I think, one of the more underrated, top-notch wide receivers of all time. The dude's just so fucking heady. He runs beautiful routes. The dude's just a beast. And if you got him in fantasy this year, I know you got him at a great spot, and you're laughing. Easy starter, week to week. As far as DFS goes, you would know this, but I don't know what his price tag is, but he's definitely well worth.
It's gone up exponentially, dude. He started the year at like 7,000. He's up to like 10,000 in the Tyreek Hill range on FanDuel, which I switched to. Yeah, no, I got a couple, dude. And he has this narrative that he's always hurt, and he's not. He tore his ACL in 2017, came back, didn't miss a game, and he was hurt last year with something at the start of the year, and he actually came back and was better than he should have been after pulling his hamstring. So he's a dude that is actually healthy, but the narrative around him is that he's always hurt. It's an interesting one, and yeah, probably a Hall of Fame receiver, to be honest, if he keeps it up, dude. He's had good quarterbacks, but he's very good.
Right. Yeah. Chargers, boom, done. In which, when I was going through this, I didn't even realize that's a Sunday nighter. News fest.
Fields is doubtful already going into next week.
Doubtfield.
Dude, yeah, the brain.
Mrs. Doubtfield.
So if you're rolling with the Bears, you got Secret Agent, man. Secret. I mean, that game was just ugly. The Raiders did not show up on offense. I mean, you're seeing them missing Garoppolo there. So, Chargers roll here. Everyone's going to have them in their survivor that hasn't used them. If the Bears upset here, the world's going to catch fire. It's not going to be good. But I do think this is about to – if Khalil Mack's healthy, I think he's about to eat. We'll see. Deontay Foreman looked great.
Well, that brings us to our Monday nighter and our last game of Week 8. It's the Raiders versus the Lions, and the Lions are an 8-point home favorite. They're 5-2, while the Raiders are 3-4. That was the team that I was talking about that the fucking Ravens beat up on. It was the Lions. They just totally kicked their ass that first half and then didn't look back. Just even the first quarter. I think you see Dan Campbell get his guys fired up and do what they have to do to get that dub at home against a Raiders team that has had a lot of question marks around them with Devontae Adams and will he stay, will he not, are they going to trade him, this, that, the other. But I do like certain players on the Raiders. Max Crosby's a guy that I really enjoy watching. But Jared Goff and Dan Campbell's gonna have his boys, slurping up the Raiders like some soup. Mumbling, mumbling.
They're not gonna get him. Yeah. Dan Campbell even came out and said sometimes losses like this are necessary. And if there's a coach that can get his guys turned around after a loss like this, I like him. He's like, sometimes shit happens and you have to look yourself in the mirror. He probably cried, dude. God bless Dan Campbell. He should run for president. They don't do shit anyway, dude. He would just pump us all up, dude. We would all want to be fighting. Dude, I just figured, bro. What's up, Guillermo? Hope all is good, brother. Appreciate you guys coming in, chatting with us. I think Dylon likes the Chiefs, going back to the Chiefs game. I think Dylon likes the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is a pretty easy line spot.
Third quarter, second half, fourth quarter.
No, you forgot. You should have sprinkled in Broncos for the first 5 minutes of the second. That's a spicy one. No, okay. You want to go? Okay, we're going to go get you a smoothie.
Nice.
Let's go get smoothie, buddy. You want to say hi? Come on, come say hi. Come say hi.
Yeah, you pick your Lions. What up, dude? Hi.
All right, buddy. Go get ready, and we'll go get smoothie. That's Sissy's Beats. I'll bring you something. Go get smoothie. Oh, jeez.
But yeah, that's that's the way we live over here. Who-Bangin and slanging, baby. Who-Bangin and slanging. That puts Week 8, the NFL Pick'em Show, in the books. Thank you for tuning in. And if you will be tuning in, thank you for doing that. Make sure y'all hit the like. We got all sorts of fun stuff going on tonight. We'll be live sweating and betting. It's the start of the NBA season. You already know. I personally can't wait. So, but yeah, for myself and Damon, appreciate y'all. Hope everyone has a good rest of their week. Let's get them.
What up, Who-Bangers and Who-Bangettes? It's your boy Sniz. And each and every Tuesday, the NFL Pick'em Show I'll be hosting right before the live sweat with my main man, Damon, and other special guests. We got weekly prizes, we got bragging rights, and I hope to see y'all each and every Tuesday before the live sweat. Bada bing, bada boom.